things have changed in my life, so a little bit. I do enjoy doing those with you guys. How's it going, Emily? Good to see ya. Looks like there's a couple people here. You gotta watch the ad to get in, don't you? Oh, there's Rachel Day. How's it going, Rachel? Ugh. Day's over. Hey there. People are starting to join now. Hey there, Mom to 5, Mama Gigi, Donna, Debbie, Kathleen. Oh, there's KGV Mama again. Good to see ya. Hey there, Julie. Oh man. Hey, good to see you guys. It's getting fast. There's Aunt Josie. Lori. I'm doing okay. Today wasn't so bad. It was worse earlier, and I started feeling better. I don't know if doing the Bible study helped me or what, but Vegas. Either Ann, Barbara. Good to see all you guys. We had a long day. I made the cutest video. We did our family game night, and we did video game night. We usually do that at the end of the month, but we didn't do it last week because of shopping. So the kids were like, "Can we do video game night today?" And I was like, "Oh, sure." And I found the cutest little game. It has these. Apparently, you can play it up to like 8 or 9 people. I need to get a bunch more, Xbox One controllers. I use them on my computer, but they all can control a little cat, and it's a cooperative game. I think it's called Pico something. Anyways, even Hannah could play, and so they all controlled a little tiny cat, and they had to like stand on each other's heads to reach things, or jump at a certain time, in order to help each other out to get out of the room. It was super cute. They had so much fun. Andrea would have absolutely loved it, because the whole house was just like yelling and like, "Oh, come on over here. No, you jump. No, yellow, be quiet. Don't do that." And there was like a good exercise for patience and for teamwork and for not panicking or freaking out, and it was super fun. I got a video. I wonder if I can stream it on here, how that would work. Let me see. Let me think about this. I don't end up doing something I don't want to do. To give you an idea of how crazy it was. Let me see. Can I do this? Let me think. All right. I think I can do this. Let me get to Bible study thing here. Okay. Show you guys this cute little thing that they were playing. Okay, yeah, that should work. Make sure I don't go. Okay. I don't know how you'll be able to see it on this, but it's super fun.
Stop shouting, doesn't make everything louder. Just stop.
Hey, yellow,
They need to
yellow,
go right. I'm ready to go. Yes, the words are blocking the ball.
Yellow, move left.
You don't need to get
Move left, yellow. Hand up. Hey, push the block back over here.
That is crying because everybody's putting pressure on her.
No, push the block. Stay there.
Well, get off of me.
All the way. Now stay there. We're gonna push over. Red move.
Yellow,
That's fine. Yellow, push it. Judah, stay there. Okay, yellow, someone get over to catch it. Okay, stay there. Now yellow, get out of the way. Get out of the way, yellow.
Alright, Hannah, you get on me, Hannah. Get on me, Hannah. Hannah, get on me.
Okay, let's go. Red, get out of the way.
Okay, Sarah, don't move. Don't move for the rest of me.
Okay, catch it.
You have to cooperate and move this block on there. Anyways, let me turn this back off. They had to push this one little block across a certain row to get to the end of the level. It was just a really cute game. Yeah, my boys are amazing. I'd be lost without them. I don't know. I'm doing okay, I guess. It was a hard day. It was really hard, and then all of a sudden it turned around, and I don't know exactly what happened to make it turn around, but I started feeling better. It's hard going through this breakup stuff. I know it's like, who cares? It's dumb drama. Everybody has to do breakups, but you know, I guess I got a channel so I can have a pity party. But this is really just about just hanging out and talking, and of course you guys can ask about whatever, but it's just fun to have someone to hang out with. So I don't know anything about a Calgary Stampede, so is that like running with the bulls? It must be a Canadian thing because I have no idea what that is. Shadows look funny. I think I got something on my nose, but well, thank you guys. It's a rodeo. Oh, I see. Well, we have rodeos in plenty down here in Wyoming, so it's pretty calm. Peace that passeth all understanding. I suppose so. It was a bad day most of the day. I was upset and not sure what I'm going to do, or where I'm going to go, or all that kind of stuff. But it's weird because I just knowing I had something in the works. Hey there, good to see ya. How many people do we got? Like 200. Not as much. It's not as juicy of a title now. Pregnant after 2 miscarriages. Wow, that's amazing. That's wonderful. You should go watch Andrea's video on progesterone cream. That's how you can keep from. It really helps from not having miscarriages. We love one another. Oh. It's nice. They don't always love each other. I mean, they do, but there's plenty of fighting. Make it a party even if it's a pity party. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly right. Anyways, it's just fun hanging out with you guys. Yep, heartbreak's not fun. I just thought it was going somewhere, It was going somewhere. I thought it was. A lot of people, I got a lot of questions on that video. Most people, probably the most common one is, why don't you move down to her? And the answer is that I just have my business. It's a very localized business. If I moved, I'd have to start completely all over with a new business. And it's a hard time to not provide for my family. And someone has to move, and says, why don't you move? And I was like, why doesn't she move? If that's the case, somebody has to move. Both of us can't move. I suppose you could, but that's not a smart way to do it. So, oh, thank you, Super Chat Cat. I saw that on there. Yep. So, and again, she had said that she would. Obviously, it's a hard thing. I knew it was going to be hard. That's why I ended up being with her for so long. Because you can't just pick up and move. So, actually, that first Christmas that we had been together, she told me that was the last Christmas I'd have to be alone. And then I heard that the next Christmas, and then the next Christmas. And so it's one of those things that eventually you have to draw the line somewhere. Feel relieved knowing you basically dodged a bullet. I don't know. See, the part of it is you guys don't know the situation with her, so it was like I told you what happened, and all that was true, but I know she loved me, and I loved her, and so I know she wanted to, but it's obviously a very difficult thing to just pick up your kids and move, and she lived there her whole life, so of course it was going to be hard. Definitely was going to be understanding. And I didn't pressure her, and till towards the end. But that's when I finally got out of her that she'd probably never be able to do it. So obviously there was the guy. She was definitely not having a relationship with a guy. It's not like, I mean, she was living with him, so I guess that's bad enough. Maybe I'm rationalizing something bad. I probably am, but I know there was no relationship there. I have no doubt. So anything you do with move with your children? I think so. And like I mentioned before, like, I think this is one of the greatest places in the entire world to live. I don't say that lightly. I think, you tend to get crime. The more packed people get, the more people turn into kind of jerks, and you get the small town mentality. So there's having too many people around kind of makes things bad, in my opinion. So I like to be where there's not a lot of people. And so Wyoming is one of the least populated places in the country. It is the least populated place in the entire country. And so I think this is the greatest place to live. And I think God wanted me here. So my kids are 4th generation in an area where not a lot of people are actually born here. So I know, Susan, I know that God's got a plan. I don't know what it is, but I thought that I did, Obviously, I wouldn't have planned this situation to begin with, but all of a sudden I found myself in it, and here I am, and what do I decide to do now? So I gave her almost a year to solve it, and yeah. It's not fair to anybody to have to move. I would rather nobody have to move, right? But that's just how it goes. Somebody would have to if we're going to be together. So it's just what makes the most sense, She obviously can't. I'm not going to move in there with her and the guy. So, like, if someone's going to move, that seems to be the best way to move, No, we don't talk. I'm sure, I hope, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if she reaches out, but I hope I can stay strong enough to do what I need to do. I keep telling myself, what would happen if she just showed up and said I moved? What would I do then? Like if she all of a sudden said she moved out and she's ready to do it for real. What would I do then? Well, I'm glad. I missed them too. Long distance relationships aren't easy for sure. Yeah, I met Andrea. Actually, I met Andrea at a church, but not really. We were set up. So my mom got together with her aunt and said, hey, we should hook them up. So I'm not opposed to being set up. Absolutely, Debbie, you're not wrong. And she was really sorry about that. I mean, obviously it was a deception thing, and I had to find out and catch her and all that stuff. So it was bad, but she felt really bad about it the entire time. She apologized profusely over and over again. The house extension plans? No, I don't know if I ever said that. We had looked into it, and and then I started to wonder if it was ever going to happen, and I kind of slowed down on the whole extending the house situation until I was sure it was going to happen. So she's definitely a Christian, and I don't meet a lot of people that are as on fire Christian as I am. So pretty much anybody I meet is going to be at a stage less than me. And she did have she's not been lucky with how things went in her life. And she never had that guidance of the spiritual leader of a home to help grow. So it's one of those things, like I've dated 5 women, and single mothers have kids. They have certain parenting issues, I'll say, and they tend to be not as women are generally not the disciplinarians of the family. That doesn't mean that they can't be, but generally that's not their role. And so the kids tend to be a little rambunctious and needing of discipline, whereas it seems like single dads, it's a much tighter ship, so to speak, but there's maybe less of the nurturing going on. So maybe he's not as feeling as it should be. And so absolutely, yeah. I don't necessarily just trust the internet. I'm not necessarily looking for only online. I'd rather find somebody local, absolutely. But there's less people in this entire state than there is in my old neighborhood in California. So that doesn't mean that I can't meet somebody here. There's lots of, I'm sure, wonderful women here, and I'm looking for that too. So it's the kind of thing you got to know somebody or run into somebody or meet somebody, and it's online there's more options, obviously, but so I'd rather find somebody local. So I don't want her kids were younger, and she had 3 kids, so that's probably all I'll say. I don't want people to find her, so I'm careful. Did I say local ladies on a date? No, but I have an idea, maybe, of someone I would ask. But I'm not even sure if they're available, so I don't know. It's just a thought. Sound like Maria from A Sound of Music. I forgot about that musical. That's a good point. Same kind of thing. Anybody dating at my age, something's happened. So they've had hurt or heartache in their life, or bad things have happened, or someone's passed away, or there's something, I'm not going to say there's something wrong with them, but if they've never been married and they're in their 40s, there's an issue there. Who knows what it might be? I mean, so it's just different dating at this stage in my life. So it's hard. Yeah, that was a huge secret. To be able to trust her again, somebody that deals with anxiety all the time, is not a good feeling. Obviously, it'd be very hard. In fact, that did affect our relationship very much. Trust became a huge issue, and I had a lot of things I asked. I was always being a little paranoid and questioning, what about this, what about this, what about this? Because I had suspected before I found out. I had suspected, and then I would ask her, and she was, no, never, that's terrible, why would I do that, and all that kind of thing. And then, of course, then I found out, and then, of course, then I questioned all kinds of things. And so, yeah, it's really hard to build trust back up from something like that. You can, obviously, but it'd be very hard. She just has one baby daddy. They're all from the same person. Some may just want to be alone at your age, though. Well, that's true, but they're not probably somebody I'm looking at dating, if that's the case, you know. Some people can do that. You know, I'm a member of several widows groups, and it's a fairly common thing for a woman, if the husband dies, that she has no desire to remarry. And it's a pretty common thing for women. It's not very common for men. And I think that's just how we're wired, I guess. I'm so sorry, Anne. No, lying is absolutely never okay. You suspected or the Holy Spirit was telling you? I think I suspected. I mean, who knows? How can you tell the difference? But couldn't let go. Now she couldn't commit to you. Yeah, she would have said she definitely was committing, and she was definitely going to do it. Although, again, when I finally talked to her and she said, you know, she realized he's probably not ever going to do it. I don't know how long she knew that. I suspect she knew it for a long time. But it's also possible she didn't. So I have no idea, and I have no way of knowing that. So yeah, I wish it was easier too. I think I said this, maybe this will be controversial, but me and Andrea talked about this a lot, and I kind of think, honestly, anybody can love anybody if they're not selfish and they're willing to work on things. I don't know if I buy this whole "this is the one person for me" type thing. I think you can have a soulmate, but at the same time, I think that lots of people could be your soulmate, because love is a decision that you make. And, you know, we learn to love all kinds of people in our lives, you know. And I'm not saying that you just go marry anybody, but this whole thing that there's one person for me kind of leads to, oh, I don't feel loved anymore, so I have to leave. You know, gotta go find gotta go find my person, you know. And I just don't know if it's always going to be difficult. I've heard widowed men that had loving relationships with their previous wife actually marry fairly quickly compared to widowed women. Absolutely. And I can't say that, something might happen to the stream. The unaliving yourself phenomenon is also very high in men. And even if that's not what happens, it's not uncommon for a woman to die and the husband, when they're old, to just die, you know, a year later. Because I don't know if he gives up or what, but it's not. Me and Andrea talked about it all the time. It's an extremely common thing, and I know that I had several comments of people saying I should just focus on my kids. I shouldn't be looking for anybody, and again, that's from a woman's perspective a lot of times. And like I said, maybe I've mentioned it before, but don't want to tell you the whole thing. No, I don't want to tell you the whole thing. There's a longer version of this story that's inappropriate, so I won't tell you. But one time, me and Andrea just said out of nowhere once, she said, you know, I would never get remarried if you died. And it was just out of nowhere, and I said, I don't know what I would do. And she said, oh, I know, you'd get remarried. And I was like, well, how do you know? I don't even know if I get remarried. And then she said something that was inappropriate but funny, and I won't say it. But anyways, she knew that I'd get remarried, and I didn't realize until after she died that I would. So. No, I'm sorry, small town gal. Manner through ministry and widows, lots of flack from viewers for remarrying so soon. You know, in one of our widows groups, there's a lady who got remarried after 12 years, and she still had a whole bunch of people disowning her because it was too soon. So when I read that, I was like, wow, when is it ever too soon? People gave me flack for dating pretty soon after Andrea died. But I'm just not the kind of person. I'm very logical and I don't mess around. Obviously you need to deal with grieving. That doesn't mean you can't be with somebody while you're grieving. And I know maybe other people are different. That was just how it was for me. And so, anyways, it's not like I jumped into a marriage with anybody. I was still very careful. I've dated 5 women and I've broken up with 5 women. So, it's not like I'm not being picky. You know what she said to you? Us women have seen it happen before. Well, she said something that she said, oh, please. You'd find some cute little thing, and I'm not going to say the rest. But that's what she said. But she was laughing the whole time she said it. So, oh, hey, I'm a Vegemite. Good to see you again. Yep, I've dated 5 women since Andrea passed away. One of them, I'm not going to say anything about at all. Is Andrea younger? No, she was born in 78, so she was 2 years younger than me, same age as my sister. And I loved Andrea's sense of humor too. We had very much the same sense of humor. Everybody is different, and that's why, don't yuck somebody else's yum. I heard that, and I thought it's hilarious and think it's great. So, when you first started dating after Andrea's passing, her family get upset with you. They didn't get upset, but there was some animosity with a particular one that I had been dating that caused a lot of strife. So, it put some stress on those relationships. Everybody's different, but the Bible's not different. What about fornication? Fornication's wrong. It's pretty cut and dry. Need a mini vacation. Oh, we probably do need a vacation. Maybe a mini one. We could probably handle a mini one. It's about all we could do. I heard someone else say something similarly, that the better the relationship, this was a relationship person said that, not me, but the better the relationship was, the faster they get remarried because they want to find that again. And if the relationship is really bad, it's not uncommon for them to be like, I don't want to do that again, kind of a thing. How are you meeting them? Did you already know them? Most of them have had some way of looping back to the channel in some way, shape, or form. So I never wanted it that way. It just happened. And I just kept saying after a couple of them, last 2 or 3, I was like, I'm never dating online again. I'm only going to do in person. And then, somebody just starts clicking with you, and that's how it goes. Oh, thank you. I think that's amazing, Night Owl. Andrea was of the same kind of mindset. She wasn't at all upset in the slightest about knowing that I would remarry again. And that's one of my conversations that I replay the most, because I think I would have had guilt. I would have had guilt dating somebody else. Like, what would she think? What would she want? And the fact that we had that conversation, if you haven't had that conversation with your spouse, you probably should. Obviously, it doesn't matter after you're dead, or maybe it does, I don't know. But that gave me a lot of peace about it. So, all have sinned and fallen short of the glory. That's for sure true. Oh, no, you're right. April did not have a tie to the channel. She did not. We met on a dating website. So, yeah, she had no idea about the channel. So, I stand corrected. Are the kids still in touch with Andrea's family? Yeah, we see them. Mostly at birthdays and parties and stuff. So, married a widower up in our last live chat. I just have someone last time you'll meet her. Thank you, Liz. I appreciate that. Was it scary dating a widower? In the widows group, I have a lot of people mention that it's scary dating a widow. Do you think YouTube still helps you grieve for Andrea? Absolutely. It's some the kind of thing that it's not like you need to go to your room and put your head on a desk and just write a paper on grieving when you grieve. Grieving mostly is losing somebody. Like, almost, and this may sound really cruel, but forgetting them. Obviously, you never forget them, but you forget what it's like to be with them. You forget what it's like to hear their voice. You forget what it's like to expect them to be home. Excuse me. It's learning to forget. Because you can't carry that kind of pain your entire life. So you have to forget. In some degrees, that's how I think we heal, if we're being honest. So younger, you have no idea what to expect from a marriage, grow together, mold together. Absolutely. Our marriage wasn't all rainbows in the beginning. You know, I struggled with playing video games too much and spending too much time on my computer. Andrea used to write me letters saying that she has fantasies about breaking into my office at night and smashing my computer. And, you know, I had to deal with that and figure that out. And we finally got to a point where we had the best relationship you could ever have had, you know. Hey there, Anna. If you married a younger woman, would you have more kids? Pretty much completely on them. I've dated some people that absolutely wanted to have more kids, and I've dated some people that absolutely did not want to have more kids. The last girl I was with did not want to have any more kids. But of course, between her 3 and my 9, we'd have a dozen. So I can go either way. So part of me really misses having a baby around. But I'm also 47. I don't want to be trying giving piggyback rides when I'm an old man. You know what I mean? I mean, I could do that, and I'm willing to do that. But at the same time, that was one of the advantages of the fact that she was young, right? And that would have totally worked out. You know, she was 10 years younger than me, so that would have been perfect. I appreciate that, Liz. I'm not much into reading that kind of stuff, but I'll check it out. That was 50 when I was born. That's crazy. You know, Grand's a piggyback ride. I hope so. I'm 47 and I'm still not a grandpa. You got through the loss of a child and your wife. Luckily, miscarriage in about a year. That's a complicated question. I think for me, the loss of Andrea completely overshadowed the loss of the unborn baby. Obviously, I think about it sometimes and I wonder what that would have been like. But I think that's one of those things that I don't think any man is ever going to understand what it's like for a woman to have a miscarriage. I don't think any man gets it even a little bit. And so, obviously, unfortunately, it would have been different if it was older. It shouldn't be, though. I know it's all the same, but again, I think at the time it was just so difficult. Cyrus was his name. Did I tell you about that story? When she was, Andrea was pretty close to death already, and she went into labor after she lost the baby. She had to give birth, and she had to go through all the pain of birth. And she knew that it had died, and she gave birth anyways, but she still had this little bit of a dark sense of humor sometimes. And she says, well, at least we can use your name this way, because she hated that name. Sorry, I don't know where that came from. You ever have a laugh just turn into a cry? She hated that name. She hated the name Cyrus. I suggested it with like 4 or 5 kids. And as soon as she knew he was dead, she's like, well, we can use your name now. And of course it was a joke. It's her way of laughing at death. But anyways, yeah, at the time I was only thinking about mostly Andrea's death. Sorry, if it was just one thing, I probably wouldn't be crying, but the whole breakup thing is still really hard on me, and I thought I found my person, and I was so excited. And then, Andrea coming up again and thinking about the baby, and it's just all rolled together, so excuse me. She never visited me here. She was 13 and then 14 weeks when she lost the baby. They kept saying all the time that they were surprised she was able to carry the baby that far. It's okay to be alone. It's not for me. I don't want to be alone. It's not how God made me. Some people are gifted that way and some people are not, and it's definitely not me. Yeah, I met her in person several times. I went down there for like a week, like 6 times. So that would be my answer if she truly planned on moving there, in my opinion only. There's a few more nuances to the relationship, why things that I could tell you about, but I probably won't. So, nothing major, but being desperate's no good. I hear what you're saying. So I've been alone. Well, I haven't been totally alone, but I've had to deal with a lot of being alone, and I don't want to be alone. I don't want to learn to be alone, but I don't have to. That doesn't mean I'm going to rush into it. Like I said, I've dated 5 women, and I've broken up with 5 women. So it's not a matter of, I'm not jumping into a marriage just to get out of being alone. So I'm trying to go with just the flow and see what happens, and if something good pops up right in front of my face, I can't say, sorry, I'm going to be alone right now and hope you're available later, kind of a thing. You know what I mean? Every woman I dated taught me something else, something serious and important about what I was looking for. I don't know what this one taught me about yet. No, I do, actually. I do. Christian dating sites out. No, I'm on a couple Christian dating sites. Sadly, I think a lot of times Christian dating sites can be just as dark as some of the other ones. So, but I'm on a couple of them. I hear you, Melina. Find it when you're not looking for it. I guess so. Gotta learn from this, though. You got played big time. You don't even see it. Oh, I know I got played big time. Oh, I totally see it. Totally see it. But again, I didn't know. You know? I mean, they tell you something, they lie. I mean, obviously it's easier to lie long distance. So, yeah. Maybe only date a lady living in your state. I mean, that's one way to do it. Again, it all kind of just depends. It's not like I'm going online and just looking for someone online. I'm looking for who my person is, however that works. You know, if it's someone I'm really connecting with and think that's my person, I don't care where they live. I would rather them live here, but I don't want to restrict myself. And avoiding questions is a red flag. And so she never avoided the questions. She just didn't tell the truth. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do, Mustang Sally. I'm not like I'm sitting every 5 seconds swiping on apps. I'm not. I'm really not. I'm working. I'm with my kids. I'm making dinners. I'm doing my life. And, you know, if I find some people to talk to and it turns out things start clicking, then that's great. Once you catch someone that big of a lie, it's time to move on. You're right. And the second I caught her in that lie, I was gone. I turned around and I was gone. The problem is you know, I made a mistake. Don't you want to forgive me? You know, you should forgive. And it's like, of course, I'm like, well, I should. But at the same time, I still said no. I'm not interested. But of course, at some point, I mean, she told me I can be out in a week. And again, I didn't even want to do it at that point because there was still a lie. But I already had fallen in love with her. I already loved her. So it's hard at that point, you know. It's difficult. It was not a situation I wanted to ever find myself in. Yeah, I did. I fell in love. That's kind of how it goes. So. Why was she still there? You know how many times I've said that? I said that to her hundreds of times. Deal breakers, regardless if you love them or not. Well, I guess that's a matter of opinion, I guess. If you were married to somebody and they lied to you, would you break up with them? Maybe you would. I wouldn't. And so where is that line and the difference? Obviously, we weren't married. So you're probably right. I'm not going to justify it because I probably should have just broken up with her then. I should have. I didn't, and nothing I can do about it now. So she was thinking about her children. She was thinking about her children. In fact, it's only her children. She told me that if I didn't have kids, that first time I flew down there to see her, she said I would have probably come home with you. Living a double life is absolutely divorce worthy. Yeah, you're right. That's a big enough lie. But you know, what if you found out, you know, your spouse lied completely about their past up to that point? You know, what if they had been married before and never told you and all? Where's the line? I'm not going to justify it. I'm not going to justify it. I did what I did, and I still left. So I gave her the chance to move, and she didn't, and maybe I should have left. So I guess I'll never know. She had a problem maybe with all your kids too many. No, that was never it. She was a nice person. She was really kind and really fun and great. And she was in a bad situation. I can't even tell you all the things that happened to her. Really bad things. And so sometimes a woman stuck in a situation can find it hard to get away. Not to deal with it. Why would she have a problem with it? I'm not sure where you're getting at, hacking headlines. I'm not sure if you're just trolling here or what, but she's afraid of, yeah, that's absolutely it. That's absolutely it. And that was her whole plan, was to be with me long enough before she would have a chance to tell me. And she said she tried to tell me lots of times, and she brought up times where she started bursting out into tears, and I remember those times. And she says, that's why I was going to tell you, and then I didn't. And all those bad things really happened could have been part of bigger lies. I don't think so. It's possible, but I don't think so. Yeah, you're not wrong to doubt everything that the person says at that point. But you can just kind of tell. And besides, after I caught her, she came clean about everything, even stuff that she had not told me. Because, again, when you find yourself in a big lie, what do? You have to tell a bunch of little lies to support it. And so there was a bunch of those. And she sat down and told me every single one. I didn't have to volunteer. I didn't have to ask. She told me everything that she told me that was a lie. And I believed her. So that's all I can really tell you. Manipulator, yeah, I think that's probably true. And I didn't know what was true or not. And that's sure true. Once a cheater, always a cheater. I don't think she was with the guy. I mean, she lived with him. Obviously, that's just bad enough. But she didn't have a relationship with him. Anyways, I don't want to sit here and bash her all the time. I did love her, and I think she was a great person. I know you may laugh at me for that. That's fine. Obviously, you don't agree with some of that stuff, but of course, you didn't date her. And I wish things had worked out. I really do. They didn't. And now I'm going on to whatever God has for me now. And for better or for worse, that's just where we're at. So she was young. And I think her age absolutely has a lot to do with it. Well, thanks. It's not a background, it's my room. Yes, we are going to Jubilee days. Why they lived together, we weren't actually together. Because she thought it was the right thing to do. So it's easy to bash in her situation, but you guys also didn't know her. You didn't know her. And I'm not going to justify what she said and what she did, but at the same time, it's not as bad as it probably sounds. It's bad, don't get me wrong. It is. It is. That's terrible. It is as bad as it sounds. It is as bad as it sounds. But she was still a good person. You know, sometimes good people just make the wrong decisions. Once you've met a liar and a manipulator, you've met all of them are the same. Well, I was married before. You know, I walked in on my first wife and another man. It was a brutal, terrible situation. And when I met Andrea, I was so scarred by what happened. I was jealous and paranoid and didn't know where she was. I tell this story before, but you know, when I first met Andrea, before we were even married, she was always trying to help. And while I was out working, she would go get my laundry and take it down to the laundromat down the street and wash it. You know, and one time I didn't know where she was. I had no idea where she was, and I was certain she was cheating on me because with my first wife, literally every single time I ever wondered if she was at a guy's house, she was. Every time. And so then it just became, as soon as I worried it, as soon as I thought it, it was already real, whether or not it actually had happened. So of course, when I didn't find Andrea that time, when I finally did see her, I mean, she had a big thing of laundry in her arms. So where were you? And I was all panicking and freaking out. And she says, I was washing your underwear. And of course, it was a little funny, but I was not laughing at the time. We laughed about it much later. But after that happened, she said, I didn't realize how badly you had been hurt by what had happened. And I want you to know I'm going to be patient and help you get through that stuff. And she got me to a place where I was secure again. And so, you know, I know what it's like to be with a terrible person, and this woman was nothing like that. So, the dust settles and the truth is clear. Things might still work out. I was very clear with her that I'm never going to talk to her again, unless, you know, if she moved out and she all of a sudden was moved here somewhere, maybe I'd consider it. I don't know, but that's the only way. That's the only way. And even then, I might not. You know, I shouldn't. You know, I don't know if that's always the right thing. But again, I loved her, and I know she loved me, and I know she had a bad situation, and that she's young, and I don't need to justify it, but the girlfriend, not Andrea, of course. Oh yeah, what did I say something that incriminated Andrea? I didn't mean that. I don't know what I said, but yeah, you probably corrected me correctly there. Should we love the wrong person? It's easy expression. Yeah, I guess that's true. 11 years, scared to get to the dating relationship stuff. Yeah. Personally, it doesn't sound like she's out of the picture yet. She is. Oh, what you said. Oh, I see. I missed one, I think. Any way you would ever move for somebody? I would definitely consider getting another house and maybe moving one city over or something locally around here. But I'm not moving far. My business is so important to our family, and I have it because of Andrea. She made me. I did not want to go into business for myself. I'm not the entrepreneurial type guy that's like, I'll go do it and start a business. That's not me. But she told me, you can do it, Tommy. You can do it, Tommy. I know you can. And she encouraged me, and even though I was not confident, I did it anyways. And now I have a successful business, and it's part of me. I love my job. I love what I do. I love my customers. I love that she gave me the job. She gave me everything I needed. And so I don't want to move. I don't want to start my business over. My kids were all born here. Obviously, moving 9 kids is harder than moving 3. And obviously, she needed to move anyways in that situation. So that just made more sense to me. My Chemical Romance. I don't even know. I'm not even sure if I know what that is. It's a group, music group, right? So I don't think that I'm super familiar. I probably heard the songs, but I don't remember. I'm the kind of person that knows the songs when I heard them. I can probably sing them, but I don't remember who sings it. Thank you, Nina. Watching for years, Andrea passed away and realized you've been married before. Andrea cheated on you? No, she never. No, not Andrea. No, it was another woman. You guys know that I had another daughter from another relationship. She's like 26 or 27 now. I'm not going to talk about her. She's been struggling a lot in her life, and so it's not something I'm going to talk about. Maybe it's good to find someone who doesn't have young kids or has any kids. Yeah, oh, for sure. That'd be great. But at the same time, when you're dating at 47, that just doesn't happen very often. And if there is a woman who's my age, who's never been married, doesn't have any kids, one of the logical questions to ask is, why not? You know what I mean? So that even if you find that, there's a reason, you know. Different topic. School starting up. Been to watch Andrea AC videos. Oh, I'm so glad. You guys use AC. AC is great. Who's back on the market? Yeah, before Andrea, the one that cheated, but it wasn't Andrea. Andrea never cheated on me, never in a million years. I want that to think that all. You date someone younger? Yeah, no, I definitely date somebody younger. Again, the lady I was just dating was 10 years younger than me, and when it first happened, I was like, wow, she's really young. And obviously, there was problems with maturity and experience, and those all played a factor in some of the bad things that were happening in the relationship. But also, it was also really nice, like to have young kids and a young mom with energy, and it was just good. It was a good idea. It fit really well. So I definitely date a younger woman. I don't know. I mean, maybe 15 years max. I don't know. But even then, it doesn't have to be younger. I'm 38, never married, no kids, sounds miserable. It's not my thing. Nothing wrong with me. Different strokes. You're right, absolutely. Different strokes for different folks. Absolutely. And if that's your thing, that's great. But again, you're not looking to date, right? It's just not your thing. And that's totally cool. But if I was dating you and all those things were true, I would ask why, and I think that would be a fair question to ask. Maybe there's a good reason. But it's something. It's a question. Date someone older than you? I'm obviously less wild about that. I got a little PTSD of losing Andrea, and maybe it's completely selfish and completely bad. But that was another mental thing about dating someone younger. And again, I'm not saying I don't want to have to make the decision of I want to die first, I want you to die first. I don't ever want to think about any of that stuff. But dang it, if I could not go through that again, Lord, it would be the greatest thing in the world. So obviously that doesn't mean that someone older than me is guaranteed going to die before me, but I can't help it. My mind goes there in some degree. And I'm not totally crazy, right? And so I'm not opposed to dating someone a little older than me, but I wouldn't go that far on that distance. And I'd marry Gerard for My Chemical Romance, though. That's awesome. So hey, at least you know what you want. You got your lines. Speed dating on YouTube. Well, I do have. This channel is provided for us in ways I never could have known, and I absolutely believe that God prompted Andrea to create this channel because she would be taken. She would die early. I have no doubt. Like when she died, I didn't know how to do the laundry. I didn't know how the laundry system worked. I would watch a video on her laundry. I didn't know how to do shopping. I could watch her make the list. If I didn't remember what kind of stuff she bought, I could go watch it. I know what kind of food she make, I can go watch it. Like I have a video about everything I could ever do. The kids can remember her. You know, when she died, you guys were sending money, and that's how we got the van. This nice van. I've never driven a car so new in my life. Apart from the fact from that the old Sunfire, I bought that when it was new, 2001, when me and Andrea first got married. And I'm driving, in my opinion, a luxury van, and holds all the kids with room for grandparents, you know. And I've met women on here that I have feelings for, that showed me a lot of things, and I was really glad to date them and to be with them. And so this channel has provided me in infinite ways. So I'm 47. Wow. That's crazy. Cat. Well, I've, just as a result of doing this stream the other night, I've chatted with several nice ladies on Facebook, and that's enjoyable, and I get to just have conversations and feel like it feels normal and nice to just talk. That's why I'm doing this. That's kind of how I cope. I'm actually extremely introverted. I don't like to talk. I don't like to talk in front of a camera, but as a result of when I first met Andrea, I was actually working at Arby's, and I needed to get another job to provide for my family, and so I went out and looked for a job, and there was a job that was paying $7.75 an hour, and that was a huge increase in pay back in whenever that was, 1998. And it was a sales job though, but I had to take it. Ended up being 100% commission, and $7.75 was the fallback rate if you didn't do a good job. And anyways, I ended up doing a very good job. I became the number one salesperson for many years, every month after month. And as a result of that sales job, I came out of my shell and is able to overcome my introvertedness. And that's why I can talk now. That's why I enjoy it. It's still nerve-wracking to some degree. So thank you very much, Kat. Three kids. They got to me a favor, though I didn't see it back then. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah. You're not wrong. Max is 24 years older than I. INFJ, yep. That's what Andrea was. Andrea was an INFJ also. You ever shop at Sam's? There's a Sam's in Rapid, but it's 2.5 hour drive. I don't care how good Sam's is. It's not worth, an extra, a couple hundred in gas and time it takes to do it. So, thought you were engaged. Well, yeah, sort of. So, I had flew down there to propose, and then I turned back, and then when I broke up with her, and then we got back together again, and even though I never gave her the ring, it was kind of like we were, because that's what I came down there for, and so it was kind of like we were engaged. I mean, that was the plan. So Does the guy know about me? I don't think he did. He did. No. As a single dad, mostly just to help more. I used to think I was a totally big helper, and now that I know how much actually happens, how much a woman actually does. Someone's blowing me up. Oh yeah, those types. They're the Myers-Briggs personality types. I can tell you that story. So my mom, I was not a big personality test type guy, but my mom brought over a box of stuff. Do I still have it? I probably do somewhere. And a box of my old report cards and papers and all kinds of crud. And we were looking through, me and having fun with Andrea, we're looking at our report cards, and all the report cards said not working to full potential, and she used to just crack up because that's so me if it's something I didn't care about. And anyways, we came to this thing. It was a book, and my dad died when I was 10. My real father did. And so we found this page, and I don't know why she had it or where we were, some sort of a counselor, I don't know what, but I had to have been under 10, and we went to this counselor, and there were some personality types, and there were learning types, and it's not a type that was ever used before. I'll never forget, mine was a CSL, consecutive something learner, I can't remember. Anyways, it had a little paragraph about me, and this was written when I was like 8 or 7, and it said, very analytical and organized, has a passion for ancient languages and perfecting things, and it just described me to a T, so much so it literally freaked me the heck out. Like, I was like shocked, and I immediately wanted to find this book, and the name of the book was at the top. It wasn't a book that was in print anymore, and Andrea found it and read it, and it was like, I can't believe how much this helps me, and it's described me so well, it just freaked me out. And then we had a friend who was coming to our church who told us about the Myers-Briggs personality types. We all went in there just like you do on Facebook and took a test, and it again described me to a T. And I'm an INTJ, and so So it described me so well that before you know it, Andrea made everybody do the test, and she was able to type the kids who couldn't take the test. So, you was live. Think you go to therapy for your PTSD? No, I went to therapy, and I just think therapy's not for me. I went for many months, and it didn't help me in the slightest. It just cost me a bunch of money. So, yeah, let me know what you get. I'm always very curious about the different personality types. Andrea was an INFJ, and as a female INFJ is like the rarest type. INTJ, what I am, is one of the rarer types also. It's like the brainiac. Einstein was supposedly an INTJ, so I'm in good company. Anagram temp, I did. I can't remember now what. I have a picture of it somewhere. I did the love languages thing and a few others. Skibbity Ohio Riz. I don't got much riz. I think we checked it out. Like whenever we do this, there's a surprising number of INFJs in this channel. INFJs, they want to change the world. So they see their outlook and their life as helping people make the world a better place. And so I think our channel is a honeypot for INFJs. That's my personal opinion. So... Did you test Hannah? No idea what Hannah is. Andrea loved it so much. She might have put on there what she thinks just based on how she acted as a baby. Obviously, it's almost impossible to personality type a baby, but it didn't stop her from trying. So even some of our littler ones she typed, although I'm not sure they were accurate. Sometimes it's very hard when it's low. How you take the test? You can go to honeypot. You can go to humanmetrics.com. Humanmetrics.com, I think, is the best test. 16personalities.com, 16personalities.com is the one that tells you more about the personality types and is a much better presentation. But I think their test is not as good as the Human Metrics test. It kind of depends on where you are. So, like some people, the personality types, there's 4 letters, and each one has 2 possibilities. So there's I or E, either introverted or extroverted, and then it's intuition, either intuitive or sensing, where you feel things, and then then there's thinking or perceiving. INT, or thinking or feeling, either a thinking type or a feeling type, and then either a judging, J is a judging or perceiving type, and the different combinations work out to 16 different types. And so there's some people that straddle the fence, and so you might be really close to a couple different types, and so one test may tell you one thing and another test tells you the other thing. And certain personality types, for lack of a better way to say it, they are not honest with themselves, and so those people are hard to type also. So famous amongst the ladies. Oh, thank you, J Light. That made me laugh. Nope, sorry. Is the Audio Bible still use the Audio Bible? No, that was me. Audio Bible was 100% me. Andrea saw the definite benefit in it the longer we did it. Do you date non-Christian women? No, unfortunately. ISFJ, 168. Wow. That's a very impressive IQ. Me and Andrea both, we were close. I was 136 and she was 138. And they invited her to be in Mensa and they didn't invite me. And she let me remember that like every day of our life. It was fun. Yeah, my Facebook's going off here, so. Think she watches these lives? That's a good question. I'll bet she does. You mean the girl I just dated? She's the kind of person who's, she's not anxious about a lot, but the stuff she is anxious about is all self-image type stuff. So she'd know people would be probably saying mean things about her, so that might keep her away. But I think she would want to. Mine too didn't see the point. Yeah, we didn't. Andrea didn't join it either. But it's too bad Norway's too far away. But I hear that's one of the best places in the world to live. $136. Wow. You guys know how IQs work? 100 is the average. The average person's IQ is 100, and so it's mostly a measure of how your ability to learn. So it doesn't mean that you're smart or you're dumb or you're knowledgeable or you're not, but it's your ability to learn and how fast you can learn. Yeah, I have my best friend Sal from California. He's still my best friend. I still talk to him all the time. You think Andrea would approve of your ex? Well, let's just say if I had finished that sentence that I told you I wasn't going to share, she called it, so to speak. So I think that she would have. See, let's see, the third person that I dated, she taught me that I wasn't going to get Andrea back. And that was probably the most valuable lesson that I learned, because this woman that I dated was very much like Andrea. She was the same personality type as Andrea. She was crafty. She sewed. She loved her. All she cared about is family. She was a good, godly woman. She was really great. And but she was so much like Andrea, I had to realize at some point, she helped me realize that she's not Andrea. And it was then that I basically went the other way. So this girl that I dated last was about as opposite from Andrea as you could get. And that felt good to me, because I don't want to try to redo Andrea. That's not what I want. So no, it wasn't April. So no, let's see, there was her. No, she was after April. April was the second. So hey there, Kenzie. Anyways, I realized that I didn't want Andrea back. I mean, I would want her back, but I don't want to try and copy her, because then I'm just comparing all the time. Like, oh, Andrea did that better. Oh, she does. I don't want to do that. And so, of course, it's okay if there's a lot of overlap, and obviously, in some ways, that would feel very familiar and nice. But at the same time, I very much like doing something different also. So Lorcana, what is that? Oh yeah, that was that Disney magic game, right? I'm no longer a Christian, deconverted. Otherwise, I'd date. Yeah, too wild for you though. You tell your opinion, don't you? And I don't mind that at all. But too bad. I don't want to see you going to hell. You should convert back. Probably just had some phony people twisting you and lying to you. Did you come out of Mormonism or something? Your name is April too? Oh, well, see. Well, I don't remember where you're at, so send me a message. I don't remember. No one is going to hell? Well, I'm sure I think that they are. So what kind of person would I be if I sincerely believed you were going to go to hell and I didn't tell you? Well, what kind of jerk would I be? So, are you a good old atheist now? No, I see. So, everything came from nothing, right? I like debating atheists. I debate atheists a lot. I'm pretty good at it. But I don't think I've ever converted an atheist, so maybe I'm not that good at it. But I'm good at doing debates. Yeah, this guy, he was awesome, charismatic, charming. Then his wife confronted you. That's got to be terrible. I'm just a Christian, Ramona. I don't like calling myself anything. The God of the Bible. He is a loving and forgiving God. Thank God for that. But forgiveness is a gift you have to accept. You fall into denomination? No. I was raised Southern Baptist, and then my stepdad, was a non-denominational preacher. But even that's now non-denominational is basically a denomination. So I'm NA. I don't think God separates us into polka-dotted, pink, red stripe, red, white, and blue Christians and all different other kinds of Christians. In reality, a denomination means I can't sit on a pew next to somebody I disagree with. So if you say something I don't like, I got to go find a whole new church full of people that believe exactly like I do. What's the excitement in that? So it wasn't more a fundamentalist Christian. Oh, well, I can see why you'd want to convert out of that. If you're talking like actually fundamentalist, yeah, that can be difficult depending on how far you went. But believe the Earth is only 6 million years old. I think the Earth is much older. I think Genesis 1:2 is one of the most overlooked verses in the Bible. That, in the beginning, Earth was void, and the Spirit of God hovered over the waters of the deep. So before day one, Earth was already there, already existed, had water on it, and God never said, "Let there be water." He never said, "Let there be dirt, let there be earth." He starts with, "Let there be light." So Earth was already there long before the first day of creation. God's been around for infinite number of years. It's like we act like he didn't do anything but twiddle his thumbs until he made man. So no telling what he did before us, but maybe that's where the dinosaurs came in. You don't know how it happened. Well, that's a good reason. At least you're admitting don't know how it happened. But that alone should make you an atheist. Should at least be an agnostic. It's very hard to be an atheist. An atheist says there is no God, and you really can't prove there is no God. So I have more respect for an atheist, though. It's hard to be an atheist, though. People are going to start tuning out if I keep talking about God stuff. Quick, someone say something about a girlfriend. Date someone who's 30? Oh, maybe. That's oh boy, I don't want to talk about flat earth. I would call myself a flat earth sympathizer. We definitely live on a globe. But dang, I respect them wanting to do their own research, wanting to prove it and not believe what anybody else says and do it on their own. Dang, I appreciate that. I respect that. They're wrong, and it's pretty easy to prove they're wrong. As far as I'm concerned, oh my gosh, why am I talking about that here? Forgive me, my flat earth friends. This is not something that... This kind of chat wanders off the beaten path a little bit. So we get into this stuff. This is mostly a family channel. I try not to talk about politics or religion for that matter, unless we're doing a Bible study. Obviously, God's part of my life, and I'm never getting rid of him. I love him there, and so he's going to be a part of my life as long as we're part of this channel. But I have a lot of people that don't believe in God as friends, and people who watch this channel, and they respect us too. When a woman can financially contribute more at home with the kids, I'd rather my wife not work. That's just, I'm old fashioned that way. Sure you don't move to Norway? Hey, I mean, I wish. Asher, it was funny. Asher was just talking about how Norway is like one of the greatest places on earth to live. Like they don't allow any garbage in their society, and they're very careful about what they teach the kids, and they're just a very confident, independent country that just says F the rest of the world. Pardon my bluntness, but doesn't mean you can't date someone who does the same thing. Absolutely right. Learning the way we go. Absolutely. What about a stay-at-home wife is so appealing? It's just what you want to provide for her? No. I just think that men and women have things they're good at. And women are really good at nurturing and loving children. And so, to take somebody who does that and send them off working for somebody else, and while your kids are hit home by a nanny, I don't know. I just think that's just how I am. So, social media only. Only you two will be able to set Bible audio, but no clue how to communicate other than here. Well, you can leave a comment on any video, and I don't have to approve it. So if you just want to ask a question or whatever, I can try to answer it either in a reply or I can do it on a video. Maybe I get you my, I don't know if I want to. I can get your email address. I can probably text you an email address. Maybe if you leave a comment on some weird old video that nobody watches, I'll reply back an email address you can reply to. And then if you reply back to that you got it, I'll delete the whole thing. And then you can email if you want, if you do that kind of thing. Bible has a patent on it. Word of God can't be patented. You are absolutely right. But it's not called a patent. It's called a copyright. But some versions of the Bible don't have a copyright, like the King James Version Bible does not have a copyright. And I'm actually working on my own version of the Bible so that I can give it away completely free with no copyright to as many people as possible. That's my goal. So, a very strong woman come into your life and love your children, take on your home. She did not want to move into the house. She would have rather have gotten another place. She said she would do it. She would have done it because to be with me, and she wanted, but she did not. That was not her choice. She would rather have gotten a new place, which I was still talking about that. A decline. That's awesome, Peach Jam, and I've met a lot of women like you, and I have a lot of respect for that, for sure. And again, Andrea told me that too. The first woman that I dated was a police officer who shot himself with a shotgun in the chest. It's a terrible, terrible situation. She was so scarred by that incident. So I understand. First woman in more generations I know of my family to never marry. You know what? Everybody has. It's funny that as humans we have to make everybody else be like us. I was always interested because I got a lot of comments like, I never got remarried and you shouldn't either. And of course, unless you do what I do, you're not living. And we even do that as parents. Like, if I can't give my kids the same experiences I had as a child, I feel like I'm abusing them. Like, they got to go on the same roller coasters, they got to go watch the same movies, they got to do everything I did because my life was awesome. And it's funny how we do that as a person. Everybody's got to be like us. But everybody's different. And different strokes for different folks. And that's okay. That's awesome. That's why we have such a wonderful world. Who wrote the Gospels? It depends on which one. Every Gospel is written by someone different. And some we might not even be, we think that Levi was Matthew. Most likely he was. We're not really sure who Mark is. My kids do not want to move. Holly Dolly, one of the 5. No. I completely forgot about her. Nope. Apart from April, nobody discovered my girlfriends, thankfully. I felt bad because April was just a talker. She liked to talk, and she just said where she lived, and they found her. And so I don't blame her at all. She was a talker, and I wish her the best. Never wanted to marry, but have archaeology and travel the world. So now I was 23, married, and had a child. Well, that's crazy. What do you think is the most important points in looking for a mate? Introspection. Introspection is the most important quality I think a woman can have. Apart from you gotta be a Christian, obviously. You can definitely date a woman in her 30s. There's definitely some advantages to a younger woman, and there's opposite disadvantages. There's advantages and disadvantages to everybody. So, you should do a Bible verse and all the verses that support a stationary earth. Hard to believe creation magic force holds the bottom half upside down. I know that a lot of people tie the flat earth thing to Christianity. I don't like that. But that's why I'm a preterist. I believe the end times are in the past. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Google Tom Mills' End of the World. You'll find my video. But I did that before. I'm not ever again going to let somebody tell me something and just start believing it and just run away with it again. So I did that once. It's what made me fear the end of the world. And when I realized that it was a big fat lie and the end of the world isn't coming, I do all my own thought processes and study, and I don't read articles or books on theology. I learn from the Bible myself. So, by seeking those, true seekers will find it. That's I'm trying to think of the verse that probably is you're referring to. But you just did. It didn't block it. What did I say? I'm not sure what I said. Is your preterist 2 before ID converted? That's a very strange. Fundamentalist preterist? Never heard of such a thing. I missed. What did I answer? Would you skip the question? Would you have more kids or no? Yeah, I would. If the person I'm with wants to have more kids, I'd absolutely do that. If I was with Andrea, I'd still have more kids. She still wanted more kids. Sorry, I don't always see all the comments. They're going fast, and when I start talking, I'm like zoning out. I'm not even looking a lot of times. So, preterism is fundamental. Oh, now I know you're full of it. Preterism is absolutely not fundamental. Preterism is sometimes most people think it's a heretical. No, I've never heard of preterist being fundamental. Maybe you don't know what preterism means. Adventist boarding school. Yeah, they're different. They're a historicist. Still have the audio Bible playing 24/7. I have it turned down over there, so I don't bother you guys. So you don't believe in a second coming of Christ? The question I would ask before you go tuning out on me, first you should watch my video, because I'm very gentle in that verse. I would want you to tell me which verse you're referring to. So, if you refer to a verse, I'll tell you what I think about that verse. So I don't want to say, because that word second coming doesn't appear anywhere in the entire Bible. So I would be interested in exactly which verse you were talking about. I think I know what it means. It's one fundamental of the Bible. Don't care what others think. Preterism means that the book of Revelation is in the past. It's not about the future. That's what preterism means. I've never heard of a fundamentalist that believed Revelation was in the past. Okay, well, I believe you. I believe you. I certainly don't know your situation, but fundamentalists and preterists don't go together. You might have been one of those, but they definitely don't go together. Business has been doing well. I realized when Andrea died that I don't know why, but we have a lot more money now. I don't know what she was doing with it or whatever, but she'd like to buy a lot of organizational things and herbs and all kinds of stuff, and I was totally fine with all that. But I find myself having more money now. People are be shocked about what's about to be disclosed. If I think I know what you're talking about, I'm a little versed on the conspiracy theories. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. That's your definition? Oh, okay. That's not what I normally would think of as fundamentalism, but I can totally get that, and I guess from that degree, I guess I would fall into that category. So. You have an opinion on the days of darkness? Well, I love that verse from Ecclesiastes. However many years a man may live, let him enjoy them all. But let him also remember the days of darkness, for they will be many. I think that describes a lot of our lives. Yeah, I thought about public school for Solly. He does not want to go. But I thought about it. Hey, what's up, Sal? There's my best friend now. Sal's been with me through a lot of Street Fighter beatings that I gave him. Serve Egyptians and die in the wilderness. Absolutely. I'm so glad, Kat. Wow, is it already 11 o'clock? Sophia loves her bike. Oh, man. Oh, I still do, yep. I just recently got rid of my Nintendo 64. I have my Sega CD in the attic and my Saturn. I still play my Dreamcast with my kids sometimes. He said no. Porter's wrath on last days on earth. I do believe things could get very bad, but not because of prophecy. So, don't sell anything. Oh, I gave it away. I gave it to the magic shop. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you want to get, speaking of conspiracy theories, you want to see where I'm coming from. Again, Google or you search YouTube for Tom Mills End of the World and watch my video. I think I make an extremely good case. So you can decide if you think I got it or not. But I know that I am. There are some things I don't know, some things I don't understand, some things I don't know about. But I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that Matthew 24, the entire chapter, and 25 happened already, is in the past. So, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it says it already happened. It said it was going to happen soon, but yep, I think I'm going to bow out here, guys. I appreciate you so much. We'll do some more lives. I enjoy it. It's kept me company and keeps my mind from wandering where I don't want it to be. So we will see you guys later.